Rev up your engines!
This nut says, I got a 2007 FJ Cruiser. It's the best SUV truck. The people that bought that style of vehicle love them. I got customers with them. They love the FJ Cruisers. They stopped making them. Now, I think that's kind of a political thing. The gas hogs. They use up a lot of gas. Toyota wants to get the gas mileage ratings up higher. That's why they're putting these hybrids in a lot of their stuff to increase their gas mileage ratings, to make the federal government happy in the United States. So I think the main reason they stopped making those things was because they're gas hogs. They ran fine. People that want a vehicle like that don't care about gas mileage much, they love them. But it was one of those kind of niche things that they decided, well, we only sold so many of these and they get bad gas mileage, so let's just get rid of them. It's not like the Hummers that they just couldn't sell them anymore. They were making them in Shreveport down the road, Louisiana, and they had so many problems with them breaking down. People that actually owned them said, what a pile of junk, I'll never buy another one of those. And they just went out because they couldn't sell them anymore because they were made so poorly. The Cruisers weren't like that, but they still stopped making them. Stuntman12 says, best mid-size truck to buy, brand spanking new, the Toyota Tacoma. You can't beat it. They're the best mid-size. They can just run forever. For a few years, a long time ago, they had rusty frame problems with them. And actually, anybody who had one and contacted Toyota that I knew, Toyota actually gave them a new frame free. They gave them the truck. They took it all apart and put the truck back on a brand new frame because they wanted to keep their image of making solid vehicles. And if you really want a solid one, get a 4-cylinder. Don't waste your money on the V6. The 4s can tow almost the same amount. They're simpler. They get better gas mileage. My son bought a new one last year. He loves the truck. And he even got one with an automatic transmission. It still has plenty of power for him to pull stuff around with. So you can't beat Toyota Tacoma for a mid-sized truck. That's just, there's really no comparison with just about anything out there. George the 11th says, I was reading about this flying car that the Israelis and the Americans are planning on making. Now, what's your catch on that? It's an American-Israeli startup company called NFT for Next Future Transportation that can go an estimated 350 miles of flying. Now, when I was a kid, I always kept saying, flying cars, you know, they're going to have them in the next 10 years. If it makes production with this ASCA, they're going to start at 200 grand, but they're trying to work on a subscription service that's like 300 bucks a month, and people share it, stuff like that. I mean, who knows? I hear these things all the time that they're going to make a flying car. Now they have this concept car out, and it's ASCA, A-S-K-A. Google it, you'll see. It's kind of cool looking. Let's live in the real world now. People have a hard enough time driving a car on the road without smashing into things. If you have people in cars flying around, they're going to be crashing in people's houses. God knows what would happen from it. I mean, I doubt if any of this stuff will be serious mass production at any point in the future. But, you know, it makes for a good laugh to see what these engineers are coming up in their heads. Roy Grote says, I got an '06 Ford Mustang 4.0. It shudders when the radiator fan kicks on. Electrical issues? Well, sure. What you got to figure out is what electrical issues they are. The simplest, easiest thing to do is you go to any place like AutoZone, have your battery and alternator load tested. It takes 5 minutes. They load test them, then they can say, well, your battery's weak or your alternator's weak. That makes total sense. Now, you could also have a bad radiator fan. If the motor is old and worn, it can drag too much power. Then it'll make the engine shudder. So that can easily be tested by any mechanic with an amp meter, you know, how many amps it takes. And then when they test it, say if it's supposed to be taking 15 amps and it's taking 40, 50 amps, you know, the motor's running out and it's dragging too much current, and you put a new motor in it. Elia0274 says, the fans in front of my engine don't work. I don't have AC and the engine doesn't overheat. Do I need to worry? If it's not overheating, they're probably coming on and you just don't know it. They only come on, you don't have AC, so they only come on when the temperature gets beyond a certain parameter. Then they come on, and then when it gets down to a certain parameter, they shut off. It's all run by computers. Do this test, and I guarantee you, since you say your car doesn't overheat, I guarantee you, you'll see them come on. Start up the vehicle when it's, 80, 90 degrees outside. Open the hood, watch the fan, let it sit there and watch it. Watch the temperature gauge, and you'll see it goes to normal and sits there. Well, eventually, if the fans don't come on, it'll start to get a little bit hotter. And eventually it'll get hot enough those fans will come on. Now, if the fans don't come on, just sitting there, eventually your temperature's going to get hot. That's just the way cars are. Something has to cool them. If you have electric fans and your car doesn't overheat, they have to come on at some period of time, unless the only driving you're doing is on the highway where you got 60-mile-an-hour wind going the whole time. They will have to come on. So do that test. You'll probably see the fans are coming on. They just come on when they need to, when it gets really hot. And in the winter, a lot of places, they won't even come on at all because it doesn't get hot enough. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.